Students, this is mock test 16 based on many questions from different aspects of agronomy and agriculture. So, there are different type of questions. We will discuss all these questions and solution of this test is already uploaded on YouTube और इसका जो लिंक मैं डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दे दूंगा. इस टेस्ट का डिटेल में डिस्क्रिप्शन जो एक्सप्लेनेशन है वो अपलोड है और आप उसको भी देखिए एक्सप्लेनेशन को, उससे आपको और चीज़ें क्लियर होंगी और डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में जाकर के आप उसको लिंक को देख सकते हैं और वहाँ से इसका डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन ले सकते हैं. और इन क्वेश्चंस को यहाँ भी हम सॉल्व करेंगे, तो आप दोनों वीडियोस को देखिए तो आपका कंसेप्ट क्लियरिटी और अच्छी होगी और जो उससे रिलेटेड क्वेश्चंस हैं वो भी आपको क्लियर हो जाएंगे. So students, so this is mock test 16 and in mock test 15 there was a mock test 15 question number 13. There was a by mistake calculation was wrong. The question was that what is the rotation intensity of rice, wheat, rice, fallow cropping system? This is the rotation and we have to find out the rotation intensity. And in this question mock test 15 question number 13, by mistake I explained there are 3 crops, 1 crop, 2 crop and 3 crop, but by mistake I wrote and considered it as a 4th crop. It is not 4th crop, it is a fallow period. So rotation intensity is equal to number of crops divided by duration. So number of crops are 3 and duration is 2 years. So it is 150%. So please make correction in mock test. In question number 13, I gave the explanation correct, but by mistake calculation was wrong. So please consider the calculation in this way and correct answer is 150%. So in this mock test, question number 1, spectral region of photosynthetically active radiation, this is PAR and this PAR is the radiation range in which photosynthesis take place. So here the wavelength is asked and this wavelength is 0.4 to 0.7 micron, and if we talk in nanometer, it is 400 to 700 nanometer. Actually it is the range of Vigor where maximum photosynthesis take place. So it is visible light spectrum. The plant cells are connected with other. So two cells are connected by plasmodesmata. It is very important question, how two cells are connected. So by plasmodesmata, two cells are connected each other. Global warming is attributed to increase in concentration of. So global warming gases, although gas which are responsible for global warming are CO2, methane, nitrous oxide. So option is all of these. So nitrogen gas content in soil air, it is not atmospheric air, it is soil air. What is the gas content nitrogen? It is 78%. It is almost equal to atmospheric air. So the nitrogen content is same in soil air as in atmospheric air, but there is a difference in CO2. This question may be asked, what is the CO2 concentration in soil air? If we talk about CO2, so CO2 concentration in air we know it is about 0.03%, but in soil air it is atmospheric air, it is 10 times higher, it is 0.3%, 10 times higher. But in case of nitrogen and oxygen, the concentration is same both in soil air and atmospheric air. Average number of tillers of wheat per unit area from many samples is calculated by. So here we have to calculate number of tillers in wheat per unit area and samples are many. So from one sample count the tiller, then second sample count the tiller, and take the average, and this average is arithmetic mean. So, arithmetic mean is used for calculation of observation, whether it is a plant height, number of tillers, number of leaves, yield, etc., whatever. Then dry adiabatic lapse rate of air is, so it is constant, it is about 10 degrees centigrade per kilometer, it is dry adiabatic lapse rate. Number of agroclimatic zone in India. This question is very important and asked in many examinations. So, it is 15. Remember that 15 is number of total agroclimatic zones. Then stomata closing type anti-transparent. Stomata closing type is. So, there are different type of anti-transparent, and stomata closing type is phenyl mercury acetate, PMA. Atrazine is also used as a stomata closing type. This atrazine is herbicide at low concentration, it closes the stomata. And kaolin is reflectant type. It increases the reflectance of sunlight. Cycocil is growth retardant, it reduces the growth. And hexaconazole is film forming type. So, they are different type of anti-transparent, and another film forming type that is commonly used is silicon. So, this is silicon, this is not silicon. Remember and look carefully, it is silicon, it is element silicon. Here is E. Silicon is a synthetic material, rubber like synthetic material. So, where E is synthetic material while silicon is element. The example of mid-season correction practice is, so first understand what is mid-season correction. Suppose this is the length of crop duration, here sowing, and it is harvesting time. Suppose, and this duration may be 100 days or 140 days or 150 days, whatever. So, the practice which are done mid-season. So, mid-season is this. So, at this time the practice are adopted are called mid-season correction practice. So, resowing is done up to early stage. So, it is not mid-season correction. Similarly, gap filling is done in early stage of crop. So, it is not mid-season correction. Thinning is done after 30 days or 20 days or 25 days when plants attain good height. So, thinning is the mid-season correction. So, this is the correct answer, thinning. So, generally thinning is done when there is a moisture stress. So, there are suppose number of plants and there is moisture stress in soil, then we remove some plants to reduce the transpiration loss. So, that is why thinning is done, as well as lower leaf removal is done. It is also a mid-season correction. So, these are just done in Rainfed area to minimize the transpiration loss. Then crop suitable for dry land area is, so the crop which are drought resistant can be grown successfully in arid and semi-arid area, and among all these crops pearl millet is the suitable crop. Sorghum is also suitable crop, but there is no option of sorghum. So, pearl millet and sorghum can be grown successfully in arid and semi-arid areas. Which one is not a characteristic of dryland farming? So, this question is related to not a characteristic. So, read such type of questions carefully where not is asked. So, poor soil fertility occur in dryland area? Yes, it occurs. This is the characteristic of dryland area. Soils are poor in fertility, available NPK are low, and as well as micronutrients are very less in such type of soil. Soil erosion is also a problem. Low rainfall is also a problem, but multiple cropping is not adopted in dryland area, multiple cropping is adopted in those areas which where irrigation facilities are available. So multiple cropping, double cropping, triple cropping, quadruple cropping are practiced in irrigated area where we can provide irrigation. So multiple cropping is not a characteristic. So write in this way, then it is not, then choose this answer. Otherwise, your option may be wrong. So do such type of question in this way. The prevalent cropping system in semi-arid area. So in semi-arid area, moisture is also a problem. So we cannot go for double cropping. No, relay cropping. Relay means 2 crops are there. It is not possible. Quadruple means 4 crops. It is not possible. So intercropping is prevalent. It is prevalent. So intercropping is done, mixed cropping is done, arid and semi-arid area. So it is in general practice. But if moisture availability is there for a longer period, then we can adopt double cropping. But the prevalent cropping system is intercropping. Dust mulching is related with. So first understand what is dust mulching. Suppose this is soil surface and this is the capillary movement of water in this way, and then water evaporate into the atmosphere. If this capillary rise is break, then the evaporation loss from field can be prevented. So this is the phenomena. The moisture come from the deeper layer through capillary force, capillary action, and then water is evaporated. So in this way there is continuous loss of moisture. So if this capillary rise is break, then there is no further movement of moisture because capillary rise is break by any mean. So it is done by shallow cultivation. Simple hoeing can be practiced. So this is known as dust mulching. So breaking of capillary rise by creating dust on soil surface. The main objective is to reduce the transpiration by breaking capillary rise. The major type, soil type of dry farming area in India. So it is important one. It is asked about soil type. Climate is dry farming area, and third one is in India. So in this situation, the major soil type in India in dry farming is vertisol. So this is very important question. Water harvesting is. So in case of water harvesting, first water is collected into pond, then it is stored for longer period, then it is used for irrigation. So collection is there definitely, then water is stored in ponds, and then it is used for irrigation purpose or crop raising in agriculture. Okay, so that's why water harvesting is all of these: collection, storage, and use. Lime is used. Lime is calcium carbonate. So lime, and it tends to raise the pH, soil pH. So in case of acidic soil, lime is used for reclamation, and in case of alkali soil, gypsum is used to replace the sodium. Sodium is problem. In case of saline, only leaching is done, only leaching, and in case of acidic soil, lime is used. Because in acidic soil, what is the problem? Problem of acidic pH, low pH, and when we apply the calcium, it raises the pH. So that's why lime is very effective in reclamation of acidic soil. Alkali soils have problem of axis. So there are two confusing terms, alkali and alkaline. They are two very confusing. Alkali means excess of sodium. Excess sodium is alkali soil, and in case of alkaline, pH is more than 7, then it is known as alkaline. So if soil is alkaline, it means its pH is more than 7. If soil is alkali, it means it has dominance of sodium. So alkali soil have problem of sodium, while in case of saline soil, problem of soluble salt. Physical structure of saline soil is, so in case of saline soil, physical structure is good, but in case of alkali soil, structure is poor to very poor. So that's why alkali soil are difficult for reclamation. So reclamation of alkali soil is difficult because their physical structure is poor. So that's why infiltration, therefore infiltration is less, percolation is less, so leaching is less. So in case of soil, salts are present in soil, then by leaching we have to remove the salt below the root zone. So leaching should be very good. Leaching is possible when percolation is good, but if this percolation is related with the porosity. Porosity is good when the soil structure is good. So it means if soil structure, physical structure is good, porosity will be high, percolation will be more, leaching will be more, and soil can be reclaimed easily. But in case of alkali soil, there is a sodium. So physical structure is poor, porosity is very less, percolation is very less, leaching is very less. That's why alkali soils are very difficult for reclamation, while in case of saline soil, physical structure is good. So that's why leaching can be done easily and can be reclaimed easily only by leaching. High EC electrical conductivity of saline soil is due to, so it is due to soluble salts. So there are different type of salt, calcium, magnesium salt of chloride and sulfate, and these ions are responsible for high electrical conductivity. So this is the reason that in saline soil electrical conductivity is very high. ESP of saline soil, ESP is exchangeable sodium percentage. So in case of saline soil, what is the problem? Problem of soluble salt, not the problem of exchangeable sodium percentage. So this is the problem in case of alkali soil. Alkali soils have problem of high exchangeable sodium percentage, but in case of saline soil, problem of soluble salt and sodium percentage is less. Sodium percentage is low. So, and this limit is less than 15%, while in case of alkali soil, ESP is more than 15, but in case of saline soil, ESP is less than 15% because there is no dominance of sodium. ESP, exchangeable sodium percentage, will be high if sodium content is more, and sodium content is more in alkali soil. So that's why alkali soil show more than 15% ESP, while saline soil have less than 15% ESP. Saline soil can be reclaimed by, so this question we have discussed. So in case of saline soil, physical structure is good, leaching can be done easily, so only leaching with good quality water. But in case of alkali soil, first replace the sodium, so that's why we apply gypsum, then leaching. So in case of alkali soil reclamation, both processes are required, first application of gypsum, then leaching. But in case of saline soil, leaching is sufficient to remove the salt from root zone. Which condition favor for development of soil salinity? So soil salinity is developed, suppose this is soil and salts are present in deep layer because rocks are present, deep rocks are present, and there is weathering, continuous weathering, physical weathering, chemical weathering, biological weathering, and due to this weathering, salts are released. So salts are always present in soil in deeper layer because of weathering of rocks. When these salts are deeper and not in root zone, then there is no problem. But when these salts come into the root zone, then they interfere with the crop growth, then this is problematic. So it means then salt come into the root zone, then soil become saline. So what are the conditions which favor the accumulation of salt? It means the condition which favor the movement of salt from deeper layer to upper layer definitely will help in development of soil salinity. So high temperature, because of high temperature, evaporation is more water will come from deeper layer into up to the upper layer, so more salt will come. So this condition favor. low rainfall, salts are suppose here on upper layer and rainfall is high. So these salts will move away from root zone with percolating water. But rainfall is low, then the salt will remain in root zone. So this condition also favor development of salinity. Then poor leaching. Leaching is poor, leaching is not sufficient and salt will remain in root zone. So this is also problem, poor leaching. So all these factors favor the development of soil salinity. So this is the reason that in arid and semi-arid region, soil become saline because temperature is high, rainfall is low, and these two conditions favor the development of salinity. So this is the reason that in arid and semi-arid areas soils are saline. The concept of plant ideotype was given by Donald. This is very important. Donald gave the concept of plant ideotype, what should be the morphological characteristics of a plant to obtain the maximum genetic potential yield. The chemical fertilizers are not allowed in organic farming. What is the reason that chemical fertilizers are not allowed? The reason is that because these are synthetic. Any synthetic material is not allowed in organic farming. And this is the case with the urea also. Urea is organic. The formula is NH2CONH2. So it is organic, carbon is present, but not used in organic farming because it is synthetic. So this is the reason that why we do not use urea in organic farming, though it is organic, because it is synthetic. The example of secondary tillage operations. So secondary tillage operations are performed after primary tillage to make the soil fine. So in primary tillage, clods are large, and secondary tillage operation break large clouds into smaller cloud. So hoeing is the secondary tillage operation, subsoiling, chiseling and plowing are primary tillage operation. Zero tillage is generally followed in. So zero tillage is popularly used in wheat, rice, wheat system, particularly in Indo-Gangetic plain. So this system is widely used by farmers. Monoculture is growing. Mono means one or same. Culture means cultural practices. Means the cultural practices are of same type. Then it is considered as monoculture. In case of diversified culture, different type of practices are used. So in case of monoculture, it is growing of same crop in every season. Suppose rice, sugarcane. It is monoculture. Same cultural practices, same crop, same herbicide, same insecticide, same rate dose of fertilizers, same intercultivation practices. So that's why growing of same crop is known as monoculture. The rotation intensity of monocropping is, monocropping means growing of only one crop in season. Suppose maybe rice fallow. This is monocropping. Here rice is grown, then fallow, sorghum. Here in Kharif season, field is kept fallow. So this is monocropping. In 1 year only growing one crop. So here duration is 1 year. So rotation intensity is duration, number of crops in rotation divided by duration of rotation, and it is multiplied by 100. So here in monocropping, how many crops are grown? Only one, because one season is kept fallow, and duration is 1 year. It is 1 year. Monocropping duration is 1 year into 100, so it is 100%. It is 100%. In case of double cropping, rotation intensity is 200%. 2 crops are grown and duration is 1. Triple cropping, rotation intensity is 300%. 3 crops are grown in 1 year. Quadruple cropping, 4 crops are grown in 1 year, so 400%. Minimum soil disturbance is the principle of, so it is the principle of conservation agriculture. So, there are three principles of conservation agriculture: minimum soil disturbance, crop residue retention and crop diversification. So, this is the important principle of conservation agriculture, minimum soil disturbance. That is why zero tillage is adopted, reduced tillage operations are adopted in conservation agriculture. Then psychrometer is used to measure. So, it is used to measure relative humidity. Psychrometer is specifically used to know what is the relative humidity. And temperature in crop canopy is known by infrared thermometer. So, this was the mock test based on several questions of different aspects. Thank you very much.